talk football and European football this weekend, and of course I'm sure by now everybody has seen that Barcelona penalty, the pass from Messi to Suarez so he could complete his hat-trick.
You can take two views. You can take one view that was always very funny and, or the second view is very disrespectful to a team you're actually thrashing already, so I'm not sure.
Well, Ben Lupton is a penalty expert and also on the subject, as well as a European football expert, so who better? He joins us now. Hiya, Ben.
Hello, chaps.
You rarely see them. I mean, we remember an infamous one, of course, for Arsenal that didn't quite work out for them a few years back, but you rarely see this tactic used, although it's perfectly legal, isn't it?
Yes, it is legal, because if the ball moves one full revolution, it can be struck, but it's quite difficult to get right, as you mentioned, Robert Pires got it wrong in 2005 against Manchester City, and the reason he got it wrong was because they practiced it in training the day before the game, but at that moment, Henry had passed it for Pires to score, and when the game came round, Henry decided he wanted the goal, so he said to Pires, you roll the ball, and I'll be there behind you, and I'll just knock it in. And Pires wasn't so keen on that, so he didn't quite know what to do. And he looked behind him, and Henry was standing behind two Man City defenders, so he was totally confused, and we all know what happened next.
9 minutes left with added time. It was only 3-1. If they'd messed it up and they'd got back into it for a 3-3 draw, we would have been very impressed. But it shows the level of the Spanish league. They were so confident that they weren't going to give up the lead that they thought, well, we might as well just do this.
The history of that pass penalty, is it sort of Dutch origins, we understand, is that right?
Well, not quite, actually. There's been a bit of a row about it over the years because the Spanish press this morning called it the penalty of Cruyff, because Cruyff made it famous in 1982 when he took a penalty for Ajax, passed it to Jesper Olsen to score. But Cruyff actually hated taking penalties. That was his first and only ever penalty that he took for Ajax in over 250 games. He didn't believe it was part of football. He was too much of a purist for that. He thought it was separate from football, and of course Holland's penalty issues partly stem from that. The first guy who was recorded to have succeeded with this penalty was a Belgian player in 1957 called Rick Coppens, and he was the Messi of his day. He would have won the Ballon d'Or in the early 50s if it had been around then, and he did it in an international game against Iceland, and this really was taking the mickey, because they were 4-0 up at the time. They went on to win 8-3. And he rolled it to his teammate, who passed it back to him, and he scored. But the Belgian FA was so upset that Coppens had behaved in an ungentlemanly manner that they actually dropped him for the next game. So that was really seen as a disrespectful thing. But he was the guy that did it first in a way that succeeded.
Did you see, I just want to ask your opinion, I asked Al's earlier about the Messi penalty yesterday for Barcelona that he nudged to the side for Suarez to run in and score.
That was the one goal I seen.
Yeah, there's been a bit of debate this morning about whether it's taken it a bit far, because you remember Pires and Henry tried it, didn't they, at Arsenal,
yes.
and the City boys went mad, because I love Barcelona, I love Messi, but I think that's just taking it a bit too far. You can end up, someone's going to come through the back here and say enough's enough.
Yeah.